Hi, I'm Stuart and hope you're enjoying us on this flight from South Wales all the way up to Carnarvon in North Wales. There's Di in Whiskey Alpha. Have a good look because that's the last time you're going to see him until we get to Carnarvon. He'd done all the planning and what have you. I turned up, I was going to go for an hour's local flight, but he'd done all the planning and tried to get into Llanbedra, but we couldn't get there because they had land yachts on the runway. So he's climbing out well and I'm following him on. This was the 20th of May 2023. I always just go to the left a little bit just in case I would have it die hard. It just gives more options. There we are, climbing at nearly 1,000 feet a minute, which isn't bad. Come back on the power. And round we go, heading for the coast. So it was pretty much a straight track from here all the way up across the country to North Wales. That's I could see Whiskey Alpha, who was ahead of me the whole time, but only on the pilot aware, never visually. Passing Aberystwyth, that's easy to say, Aberystwyth here. And the middle of Wales is a really quiet and empty place for aircraft. So we're heading up over these large estuaries and round the, as I say, avoiding Llanbedra and then heading towards Carnarvon. So that's looking left on the Llyn Peninsula and the rival mountains as they're called, and Carnarvon is more or less straight ahead, centre of the screen now, just about there. Just then you can see the entrance to the Menai Straits and Anglesey in the distance. So here we are, just a little bit further forward, passing over Dinistintla, and the runway, the airport is more or less right on the nose. You can see it descending quite quickly. There's traffic coming in from the east, so I was descending dead side here to get down and join downwind right hand. So there you can see just above the cockpit the entrance to the Menai Straits and turning onto a downwind leg here. Now to me it does seem strange to have windmills right in the middle of an active airfield. But somebody must have thought it was a good idea. But big obstacles generating turbulence. What could possibly go wrong? Here I am, just about ready to turn right base, landing on runway 25 at Carnarvon. In the distance there you can see Snowdonia, and to the very left of the screen that's the Menai Straits. So rather a curved approach. As I say, there was somebody else who was joining, so I was keeping the circuit really tight. There we go, 2 stages of flap going in just to slow us right up. There is power lines and trees. Carnarvon used to be a very popular destination when I was flying out of Liverpool. Rolling out, and I didn't quite make the intersection, just overshoot a little bit and backtrack onto it, but there we are. So used to being on grass where you do stop quicker. And there's a Coast Guard helicopter. My instructor would tell me off for not following that yellow line, but hey ho, do regain it here. I did wave to that little kid, and his mum waved back as well, and then we speed along here. This is speeded up a bit, and just in the distance there you can see Whiskey Alpha for the first time since leaving Old Park Farm. It's taken about an hour and 35 minutes to get up here. There's Di, and he helps marshal me in just to make sure that the wingtips don't touch with that other high wing on the right there. So we parked up and went over and paid our landing fee, which was 20 quid, which really hurt. Went to the cafe, we had our sandwiches and what have you that we brought with us, and then we headed off back. So after an hour or so we were taking off and we were climbing out, heading for the hills. Now this area of North Wales has another shadow pilot who puts out some excellent videos here, Michael Katana, so this is rather his neighbourhood. He's based at Mona there on Anglesey, and it's definitely worth checking out, but I was just trespassing sort of in his neighbourhood, you know what I'm saying? So here we are, passing over Llanberis and heading up the Llanberis Pass. Pretty good lot of height already. The wind is coming from the left, so I'm hoping that these hills here on the right will give me any lift rather than hitting any sink from these hills on the left hand side. So we're approaching Penny Pass, coming a bit further up, and there we are, there it is, just the summit of the pass. Looking round, and here that ridge line in front of us there is Crib Goch, a very narrow ledge that runs along. There we are, there it is there. And hill walkers love to walk along that narrow edge, and I could see a whole lot of people on it, but I was there thinking, whoa, that looks dangerous. Much rather be sitting up here at 4,000 feet on a piece of fibre lamb than walking along the ridge there. But I suppose everybody has their own assessment of what's risky and not. So here we are, we'll just have a look to the right here as we pass Wyddfa or Snowdon. There's the peaks there, and looking back down the Llanberis Pass, passing to the side of Crib Goch, and on we go. Yep, just about the same level as the mountain, and then looking down to the pig track there, and heading down over the other mountain passes that go down towards Porthmadog. That's Llangollen, which has spent many happy months there with the boys, just camping. It was a very basic campsite, but they just used to love it when they were young. Probably still love it now. Never wanted to go anywhere else. And as we headed down south, it's very clear, except this probably fella said, oh, it's crowded here. And as I suddenly see in the distance, same height, a paraglider. And I couldn't tell because of the harness. He didn't have a harness like that. It was one pointed both ways, which way he was going. And then I panicked. Where's the rest of them? There's a sky full of them. There was only the one, and it certainly kept me awake. So after that I decided to climb up higher to be above any level which was they'd be climbing to, and it's a lot smoother up there. So here's coming up to Cadair Idris. Just speed things up a bit, we'll be here all day. Actually a hill I haven't actually climbed up, but it's you get the view from here. And after that headed towards Machynlleth. We didn't fly the Mach loop. So from there on it was a pretty straight course all the way home. As I say, I climbed up to about 6,500 feet just to get the smoother air, and that was it. So once I got back to Old Park Farm, went overhead to look at which way the wind was blowing. You can also see that the festival in it together was just being prepared at that time. There's the runways, so I'm going to land on the one which is designated 30. So I headed out, nice big circuit to burn off the height, speed this up again, around, and here we are positioning to join downwind left hand for runway 30. As you see, it's just speeded up, and now we're back to normal speed. There's the windmill. That's going to be like our turning point. We just go around the back of that. When you're a little bit of height, there's no turbulence really off that. So there's the airfield just there, and as I say, we're in the downwind position here, downwind left hand. It is so strange, we get so much sea breeze effect at Old Park Farm. The wind is actually from the northeast the whole day, except here it was coming very much from the northwest. It really does have a big effect on us, the sea breeze. So we're coming down and turning base leg here past the windmill. Just see the runway in the top left hand corner. Here we come. There's the runway just below the numbers there. The A48 road on the right, and sort of on finals now. Now 30 is downhill, so as long as there's a good wind blowing on it, it's no problem at all. I went through the centre line again, seems to be a habit today. Lined up with the runway, coming down, last field, over the fence, and so you have to descend into that dip, and we're down. A nice crop of daisies again, and slowing up by the intersection, was able to turned up runway 36 to taxi to the top. It's just easy to park the plane coming downhill. So the total flight was 3 hours 6 minutes. Total of 240 odd miles travelled, average speed 77 miles per hour, 36 litres used, and that gives a burn rate of about 11.6 litres per hour. So I'm very happy with that. Hope you've enjoyed the video, just a short one showing the highlights of the trip, and thanks very much for watching all the way to the end.